It's no secret that Ghost of Tsushima has an amazing world, both graphically and literally. There wasn't a joke to follow up with that. I've seen so many people talk about how amazing the game looks and how the graphics are the most amazing thing ever, and how the graphics actually have a portal in them that have a gateway to another dimension if you look at it in the right angle and put the filter on. Shout out photo mode. Um, and I agree. This game came out July 2020ish, and will most likely, from the time this video was made and up, may very well be the last good PS4 exclusive, with the PS5 on the rise. The first thing that I have to talk about, however, is the world in this game, because it is fantastic. I can't bring up the world without mentioning the voice acting. You can play the game in either Japanese or English, and both are fantastic. Usually, with my experience with voiceover, I guess it's mainly just from anime, so I guess it's not a fair comparison. But it's one is usually better than the other, whether it's the English dub or the Japanese dub. But with this scenario, both are fantastic. They are equally as impressive throughout the entire campaign. You feel the emotion on the characters not only through their facial expressions, because like I said, the graphics, and you can really just see the realism in the character's face, but the tone of their voice. It's something I've never seen done before this impressively. And another thing that is worth mentioning is that is the gameplay, because that is also fantastic. You can play this game in either stealth or offensive, and the game revolves around how you play the game. So usually it's a lot cloudier if you play with forest and just walk in there and kill everybody in sight, and it's a lot sunnier and more visible if you just sneak your way through and don't get spotted. It's really fun to play all around though, whether you're playing stealth or combat, and I'll leave that up to you to decide whether it has replay value. But the story complements an amazing revenge tale that has its own unique spin to it. It's not just the generic, I'm mad, I'm going to kill the guy who made me mad. There's actually quite a lot of interesting characters and choices that these characters make that are justified. I know a lot of stories, characters make choices that aren't very justified, and you're just like, what? That made no sense, this story's stupid. Nice. But there are quite a few characters, and everything they do in this story is understandable. And quite a few engaging side quests in this game. My favorite would be the mythical tales. Usually it begins with somebody tells you to find something, you find that item. When you find the item, somebody will come out and try and kill you, and then you just have this giant battle in this field. And they're never not epic. They have a pretty interesting story that furthers the world, and then they also have top it off with usually a really fun sword fight. It's not impactful to the main campaign, but it is really fun to do, and it gets you pretty good items without having to grind for hours. So that was really nice. However, there is a complaint also with the side quest, because the mythic tales are one of them, and I do want to talk about that. They eventually do become to fall flat, and but even without the side activities, or even without the side quests, there's still usually quite a bit of engaging side things to do. Like you can cut down bamboo in an order and upgrade your stamina, or you can take out enemy fortresses and clear the map. You don't have to do just one specific thing, so I can't really complain about that too much. Back to what I was saying about the duels, however, the boss fights are also extremely exciting. Every fight in this game, you're on the edge of your seat, and it could not have been done any better in that aspect. The last thing that I have to praise on this game is that the ending is very shocking and not the generic shock value ending where you're like, well, that was unexpected, but this one shocks you, and it plays Guitar Hero with your heartstrings too. Like this one's really creative, and I'm really glad that they had a fresh take on just the revenge tale from the beginning to the end, because as far as the main campaign, there's not really a single mission where I was like, that was boring. The main campaign's fantastic in this game. As far as what I don't like about this game, if you fight your enemies indoors, you're going to lose. The camera is cursed in this game, so it angles it in a way where you can't see anything but just a wall of the inside of the building that you're fighting in. So if you're inside, enemies are just going to wail on you, and you're not going to overcome that at all. But it's not too noticeable because you're usually not inside too much, but it's still pretty annoying when it is noticeable. Another issue is the grinding for gear can become very tedious. There becomes a point where you just have to think to yourself, why am I going on quest number 900 for all this armor when all my stats are maxed out anyway? Because as you play the game, you unlock points, so you can spend those points on boost to yourself and boost to your character and boost to your damage and your damage resistance and stuff. So eventually you just kind of got to think to yourself, why don't I just get better at the game? And it's just not a very rewarding process. I hope they can fix that if they make a sequel. But as far as the final complaint, I talked about it earlier, so I'm not really going to complain about it too much, which is just the side quests are definitely do get very boring in the second half of the game, second and third half. However, the main story definitely makes up for it. So, like I said, not too big of a complaint. The final verdict for this game, I'm going to say, is a solid 9 out of 10. You should definitely play it if you haven't already. It, like I said, it's probably going to be one of the last good PlayStation exclusives. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you do. It's a fantastic game, and don't sleep on it. Don't spend your money on Last of Us 2. Buy this game. If you like Last of Us 2, more power to you, but I just think this game's a little better. That's all I've got to say. That's all the time I've got here for today. Appreciate you watching. Check out the description for links to cool stuff if you want. And yeah, later.